I went on an East Coast road trip in the US with work, and here's all the food we ate on our 10-day trip. We visited a lot of towns you've probably not heard of, so I'll put them all in the caption and let me know if you've been to any. Our trip started in Washington, D.C., went down to Atlanta, and then we drove back up to Washington again. We started in a tiny town called Culpeper in Virginia and went to a really cool bar called Zandra's for tacos, which was the first of many Mexican food stops. I was in the States because I'm working on a new documentary series, and I was here with my director and director of photography, and we were filming interviews with our contributors, all of whom happen to be based on the East Coast. I love filming in America because it means you often visit places you would never go if you were on holiday with friends or family, like Spencer, North Carolina, or Bristol, Tennessee. We had some incredible pork tacos in Richmond, Virginia, tried grits for the first time in Durham, North Carolina. This is the home of Duke University, which we'll recognise either because your friends went here or because you watched the third season of The White Lotus. We had a lot of incredible Mexican food, amazing birria tacos in Winston-Salem in North Carolina. Mexican food is just so much better in the US than it is in London, although if you have any London recommendations for great Mexican food, please comment down below. A lot of you also messaged me to say I need to try American oysters, so I had them twice, once in North Carolina and once in Georgia. You can expect some videos very soon. In Spencer, North Carolina, I had an incredible Mexican-style chicken broth served with avocado lime and cilantro. And we also had a classic North Carolina barbecue, which is very different to Southern barbecue because it is vinegar-based. We also tried cheer wine, which is a popular drink in the South, but it's basically just a cherry-flavoured soft drink. And we also had hush puppies for the first time, which is fried cornbread served with whipped butter or ranch dressing. And we definitely noticed that the further south we drove, the more fried food we encountered, and it was a bit of a struggle to find healthy food at times, especially in the smaller towns. My director and DOP are also both vegetarian, and the south isn't hugely vegetarian friendly, but we ended up finding a couple of spots. There was a lovely Persian restaurant we went to in Greenville, South Carolina. Again, I'll put all the names and places in the caption. And we even ended up finding a vegan barbecue restaurant in Atlanta, which was fine. I like tofu, but when I'm in the southern states, I want to try their famous barbecue meat. So I ended up going to the barbecue restaurant next door and got the most incredible brisket and baby back ribs. They were fatty, juicy, tender, soft. I almost wept eating it. I also forgot to ask, but back to the grits. What's the appeal? We tried it once in North Carolina and it had the consistency of porridge with bits of gravel in it. I just don't understand. On the antepenultimate day, we had a 9-hour drive back to Washington, D.C. and stopped off for lunch at a roadside burger joint in Tennessee. I had jalapeno poppers, I had chicken wings with ranch, and we ate it by a lake that I found en route. That evening, we ended up in a small town called Charlestown. Not Charleston, Charlestown. It has a population of about 4 people, I think. And we went to Alfredo's Mediterranean restaurant, and I had the best lamb kebab of my life, which is unusual because I don't think lamb is that common in the US. On our final night, we went to a crab house in Bethesda in Maryland. Did I pronounce that correctly? And this was the freshest, juiciest, sweetest crab and crab cakes I've ever eaten. It was phenomenal. On our last day, we had hotel breakfast with a side of Wimbledon and finished with Ben's Chili Bowl, which was a lunch recommendation from the CIA. Not even joking. And then we flew back to London.